This is Theodore at Lies of the Devil. Go to liesofthedevil.com, where we're in a spiritual warfare to rip souls away from Satan and deliver them to Christ. I want to talk about the Housing Intelligence Committee hearing that's going on right now about Russia and hacking and them stealing the election from Hillary Clinton. I wasn't able to get the camera and everything put together fast enough, and we missed a key part, and I'm sure video clips will go up, but it was essentially talking about how Russia is deeply infatuated with the idea of depleting our nuclear warheads and our resources to go to war. Russia wants that. And as soon as that happened at this hearing, I was like, oh, wait a second. Hillary Clinton sold off 20% of our uranium. Uranium's used to make nukes. And she has an email server put in her house so that she can start sending out classified information to her foreign governments that funnel money through her foundation. Wait, what's going on here? I'm telling you right now, the Russians are in cahoots with Hillary Clinton, and they're terrified of that coming out, and so they're putting blame on Donald Trump and anybody else that they can point the finger to, because it's getting very close to people exposing them for who they really are. Foreign agents, foreign terrorists, and domestic terrorists. So we're going to go into the hearing committee, and we're just going to listen to what they have to say. I'm not even sure where it's at right now. It's totally live, but it looked like a Democrat was on the seat, and she was just, we're going to talk about the Russian hacking the elections. Get over it, lady. There's nothing there. They've already said it many times over. There's nothing there. But what there is that they're trying to hijack America from within and deplete our war resources, trying to dismantle the military.
That aren't true. They're trying to break down the trust they have in you as a senator, the Congress, the legislature, the court system. They're trying to break down all faith in those institutions. And if they can do that, if Americans don't believe that their vote counts, they're not going to show up to participate in democracy. If they don't believe that what they're doing is part of a government system that actually represents them, they're not going to go to jury duty. If they don't believe in those institutions, everything breaks down. And when that breakdown occurs, we are focused internally, and Russia is.
Who's the one that said that if Donald Trump doesn't accept the election results, that it is disastrous to our democracy? Hillary Clinton said that. And she's not accepting the results, that she got her butt handed to her. And so now, just what this guy's talking about, how the Russians want Americans to not believe in the system anymore, okay, that she's going out and saying, Russians hacked Donald Trump in the election results, and it's causing chaos, and people aren't believing that their votes count. Hand in hand with what this guy's saying. Pay attention. You need to go back and look at the facts that Hillary Clinton is a criminal, and she's working hand in hand with the Russians. Hillary Clinton's doing that.
Millions of talented Americans out there that can support these roles inside our government. We need to invest in humans moving forward in this space. And it's hard to get Americans to understand that, or even the Department of Defense, because you're talking about cyber and computers, and so you think of tech. But the truth is that tech only works if you've got the smartest brains behind it. We do, but we don't put them against our fight.
Thank you. Dr. Rumor.
I think we should be careful using terms such as an act of war. It's definitely a continuation of warfare by other means. But, you know, when you declare something to be an act of war, it calls for certain responses that we may not be ready to take on. I do agree with Mr. Watts on the need to be much more creative and much more resourceful in the way we approach the question of, call it cyber warfare.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Look at the video that we did, that I did a week ago about World War III with North Korea and China. I'm telling you right now, the U.S. is so awesome when it comes to our Star Wars technology that anybody that tries to attack the U.S. from outside won't do it. Can't happen. They can shoot tons of nukes at us all at once, and they'll all get shot down over the ocean. Okay? And that's coming from somebody that has high intelligence. They're in the military and the Air Force big time. I can't reveal their name, but I'm just telling you that. Now, China is very good at cyber warfare. Russia is very good at cyber warfare. Now, that's something that we need to get prepared for. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But we don't need to be spying on... Well, anyway, my point is that we need to be prepared for cyber warfare, okay? That's a definite possibility. As far as war and military armament and soldiers, nope. We could easily take people down. Now, I want to get into this article about Hillary Clinton and just proof that she sold the 20% of the uranium to the Russians not too long ago. And here we go. Cash flowed to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. Oh, no. Are you serious? And Snopes and them will say, it's false news. That you have all of these people that say that they pointing out fake news, saying that what's real news is fake news. In an article in January 2013 detailing how the Russian Atomic Energy Agency Rosatom had taken over a Canadian company with uranium mining stakes stretching from Central Asia to the American West. The deal made Rosatom one of the world's largest uranium producers and brought Mr. Putin closer to his goal of controlling much of the global uranium supply. They want to rule with an iron fist. As Russians gradually assumed control of uranium, 1 in 3 separate transactions from 2009 to 2013, Canadian records show a flow of cash made its way to the Clinton Foundation. I don't want to believe that, though. Move on. I mean, that's how these people were looking at it, like, what? I don't want to believe it. I won't believe it. No. And then they just move on, right? They just pretend like reality is not reality. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's go back to the committee hearing.
The ability to impersonate online is the next phase that we will go through. And I think it's safe to say we don't have our best and brightest yet focused on that. We're still trying to triage what happened to us versus to be creative and look forward and say what could happen. Mr. Watts, I heard.
Now, you're going to have opportunists like this Mr. Burr guy, he might be an opportunist, I don't know, saying that we have to keep track of people online to make sure that they're real people. They're using real profiles to post stuff or whatever the case may be. People have a right to privacy, okay? But they're going to use this as an excuse to hammer down on the Americans as well in some way or shape, some capacity. So you have to be aware of that, okay, people? What's going on with Russia trying to hijack America from within, using the Clintons, using domestic terrorists, is different than passing laws to stifle the rights of American citizens. Okay, there's a huge difference between those two.
Publicly lay this out. That seemed to be an average, ordinary Russian fishing expedition that we captured maybe 3,000 efforts at the same period in time. So, are you suggesting that they had an effort to mess with the elections and just happened to be lucky enough to stumble across a volume of emails?
They go widespread. Whatever are the best nuggets that come out of that is what they run with. They hit a gold mine, and they were able to successfully find the ammunition they wanted. What you see at other cases is they do compromise other accounts. I'm not going to talk about them. I don't want to amplify them, but they're less successful. We'll hear dumps, and you'll be like, oh, this isn't really anything other than what I expected a politician to say. And so they hit a whale whenever they went fishing. But I would also say that somewhere in their cache right now, there's tremendous amounts of information laying around that can weaponize against other Americans.
We would agree with you on that. And very quickly, as you sort of summarized how fake news and how coordinated social media efforts push stories to the top 10 and they get picked up automatically. What is the takeaway for U.S. media outlets from what you've just said?
They have to improve their editorial processes, and they also have to take a step back from the I got to get it out first competitive environment.
I totally agree with that. There's so much fake news out there. It's insane. And they just lie. And so I agree that people you need to do they need to do research before they put out an article just for clicks, okay, just for views or whatever the case being. So what he's talking about is absolutely right. I don't want to get into McCarthyism and how everybody is a possible spy or a communist, okay? But we're living in some strange times where our country's up for sale. It's like real estate, and people are just buying. Look at what the Chinese are doing. They're buying Hollywood. Literally, Hollywood is owned by Chinese communists. They own AMC, the largest movie theater franchise, and they can censor movies. Now that they own AMC, all they have to do is go, listen here, we don't really like this scene in this movie, and I can't do a Chinese accent very well, but we don't really like this scene in this movie. You need to cut it out. We're not going to show it in the AMCs. You know what I mean? And Hollywood would be like, yes, sir, we could do that. And they'll just they'll cut the scene or whatever the case being. Okay? You have them buying up real estate left and right. I mean, America's for sale right now. And Russia is doing it, but they're doing it undercover. And they're doing it with politicians like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Okay? All these people that are they're selling us down the river. Now, let's get into this article where people say, oh, no, Hillary Clinton she didn't sell uranium, blah, blah, blah. Oops. Why did Hillary Clinton sell America's uranium? Look at that. No nukes. Listen, I don't like warfare at all, okay? But nukes are obsolete, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Nukes are absolutely obsolete. Let me actually transition here. The articles are coming up a little. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Apparently, a few years back, Crooked Hillary Spectre, okay, from the movie The Spectre with the James Bond, Clinton betrayed the country yet again by selling 20% of our precious uranium supply to Russia in return for yet more payola. Not the drug payola, but the cash payola. What was that? What's that drug by the Indians? Where they have peyote. It's not peyote, it's payola. The deal is a perfect example of Clinton corruption, says Donald Trump. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton signed off on a deal allowing Russians to take control of about 20% of America's uranium supply. Warning, warning, red alert. I mean, come on. You can't figure this out, people. Clinton Foundation CEO admits pay to play with state. So you have this Chinese Russian agent, Hillary Clinton, in the White House. And Barack Obama's playing games with her, right? He's in it too. And he's hiding her criminality. And she's sitting here using her server, sending out classified, confidential emails to people in government. And it can easily be hacked by Russians. Pay me a little money, you can play. Pay me some money and you can play around with my email server and find out what we're doing. They allowed Benghazi to happen. Straight up allowed Benghazi, let soldiers and government officials be slaughtered in the Middle East. And she laughs about it like, what's the big deal? What does she say? It already happened. What's the big deal? Or something like that. So you have this article saying that the actual Clinton Foundation CEO admits that they used pay for play. This is emblematic of the corrupt pay-to-play culture Hillary Clinton and those in her orbit bring to the table, where it is so pervasive it is actually uncontroversial to those involved. It's like totally normal. This is why a special prosecutor needs to be appointed to independently investigate the growing evidence of corruption between Clinton Foundation and the State Department while Hillary Clinton was serving as a Secretary of State, Miller continued in the statement. I don't see evidence that there was policy decisions made as a result of that other than courtesy appointments, talking about setting up appointments for her foundation. I don't see evidence that there was policy decisions made as a result of the courtesy appointments, sitting down with foreign leaders. And people in public life are used to that kind of thing, making courtesy appointments for people. I certainly did it as secretary with requests from Republicans in Congress, so I don't find it unusual. We have to be careful that it's not linked to policy decisions as opposed to simply seeing prominent people and asking for the appointments. It's like, it would be like it would be like if you helped your dad, you helped build a family business, okay? And you're doing landscaping services or something, okay, landscaping services. And you help build this business with your family. And we'll look at the family as government, okay? So you help build this business, and all of a sudden the competitor down the street gets in your ear and says, hey, listen, I'll pay you a little extra money to give me the clients that you have, their emails, and some other information, just whatever information, pertinent information you can from your family business, send it over our way. We'll keep it hush-hush, and we'll pay you under the table for that information. And then basically you betray your family's business and you hand information over to the competitor because you're making a little extra money. That's literally what Hillary Clinton's doing. She's selling out the government and the people who have entrusted her into the position of power that she's in. She's selling us down the river for some extra cash. It's as simple as looking at it that way. Judicial Watch uncovers Hillary Clinton emails with pay-to-play revelations. Last week, Judicial Watch released 296 pages of State Department records containing State Department's containing 44 email exchanges not previously turned over to the State Department. This brings a known total of 171 new Clinton emails that were not part of the 55,000 pages of emails that Clinton turned over. Those records further appear to contradict statements by Clinton that, as far as she knew, all her government emails were turned over to the State Department. So she has control of her emails. She destroys evidence. Her lawyers destroyed evidence that they were subpoenaed for because they were not afraid. They were absolutely afraid of some of the emails being leaked, some of the emails going to court, going into the hearings where they were possibly going to indict her. They were terrified of it, so they deleted the evidence. If people can't see this right now for what it is, if liberals can't see this for what it is, they're reprobates, hardcore reprobates. They cannot turn a blind eye to this. Let's go back to the hearing.
Almost
Okay, so it looks like they're taking a recess. I wish I would have gotten the clips earlier right away, but before I started this video, they literally straight up, the Republican from Arkansas, I believe, was talking about how we're in dire straits and that the Russians are using, the Russians are trying to deplete us of uranium and our ability to fight. Okay? There will be clips that come up. People should be posting those probably at some point, maybe today or tomorrow. But that right then, and as soon as that was brought up, it went to a Democrat, and then it transitioned all of it to totally to. So tell us about how Russia tried to steal our elections. They take it from the real issue of Hillary Clinton selling uranium. They take it from that real issue to totally fake, just like it doesn't even make sense, trying to cause chaos. That Russians hacked the elections, which they did not, and there's no proof of that. And then the guy brought it back from Fantasyland back into reality and said, listen, the Russians are doing everything they can, including making fake news reports, CNN, Hillary Clinton, making fake news reports that the elections were hacked. They want you to not have confidence in the American system. Use common sense. I mean, this is nuts. Go to liesofthedevil.com, if you will. Sign up for our newsletter. Okay, we're in a hardcore spiritual warfare. We need to expose evil. We need to lead people back to Jesus Christ. Please help support us. The Shack for $12. We've sold, people have been very good when it comes to that. We've sold a handful, more than a handful. And it's just a huge blessing. Those are going to be finished today. Okay, I finished editing the whole thing. I got to put the DVD menu together, shrink wrap them, put them in nice display cases, and we're going to be shipping those out. People have been buying the gospel tracks. Thank you, Steve. Okay, Ghost in the Shell, now showing. That's talking about the soul of artificial intelligence. Just go to liesofthedevil.com, and the documentaries, it's all there. You need to watch those, send the links to family, get the knowledge I have in those, and proclaim it to other people. Save them. Expose evil. It's very simple. You expose people's evil, and Jesus Christ will do the rest. You expose them to the evil. You say, hey, this is what's going on in reality. You give them the gospel. You ask them to be saved, to ask Jesus Christ for the truth, and Jesus Christ will do the rest. It's very, very easy. Get the discs, burn your own discs, buy them online. They're very professional looking discs, okay? And go out there and go to the mall and just start talking to people about the truth. We've had such awesome, it's been awesome to watch people when we go out and evangelize. People are wanting to know the truth big time, and they're ready for it too. And people that have been lied to by CNN and MSNBC and Hillary Clinton and stuff, they're wanting to wake up. They're wanting to wake up. Philippians 4:13, I can do things. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. And that means going after false prophets and liars. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait to go after a certain somebody who thinks he's a big